Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 25th of October. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Gary, amazing edition this week because the viewers may well be noticing for the first time in many, many, many months. This is not only the outside edition, but it's the Tyres Off edition.
You know, I only know of one other Tyres Off edition we did when we did it in, where was it, Tennyson Avenue, I think, or Tennyson Avenue or Linlithgow, where we actually lost it.
Yeah.
Remember that?
We were outside and it was like 44
degrees. And we just got the giggles and that was it.
We do. We look back on that episode with fondness, but Gary,
it
is the outside edition and it's the Hats Off edition. It's the Tyres Off edition.
It is.
Because spring is in the air. It's beautiful weather now.
And we brought a bit of casualness to it because this weekend's a bit of a casual weekend from auctions anyway, Phil. Plenty of open for inspections and lots of stuff going on.
What is happening this weekend, Gary?
Well, you know what's going this weekend. It's the Derby, Philip. It's the big Derby.
The Derby followed, of course, by the Melbourne Cup.
Indeed.
So
and how about the Cox Plate? Now, I don't know, as a racing person, I can tell you that is probably the most phenomenal, freakish thing that's ever happened in racing. This horse has come out to what's the best race in Australia. Now it's the number one horse in the world, Winx, and it's won by 8 lengths, a record margin. No horse has ever done that, Philip.
Well, there you go. And this Cox Plate, Gary.
Like Jeremy Rosen's a salesperson of the year.
Is there actually a plate?
Is that why it's the Cox Plate? I think there is a plate.
And is it a big plate?
Yeah, it's not one of those ones in the Greek restaurants that you smash. Well, we went to a Greek restaurant.
Is it quite a big plate though, Gary?
We went to a Greek restaurant with him.
Just answer the question. Is it a big plate?
It's a big plate.
Oh, so that would make it the big Cox.
Every time we take off the tyres, what are you doing now? You're dribbling on camera. Gee.
Okay, so what were you saying?
I hope you don't edit this out. I want this in. It's fantastic. What I was saying, when I just drive myself off, is the Cox Plate. I'm not even going to go there because I know where you're trying to lead me.
Okay, come on, just get on with the show.
Ridiculous. We did go to a Greek restaurant many years ago, actually, and we started doing a little bit of a dance, a bit of a Greek dance, and you got a big plate and smashed it. And it wasn't that sort of restaurant, so we got in a lot of trouble with management. But that's another story.
We're having some fun, but it is the middle of spring, and it's great to be here, and it is great to be at a property, Gary, with a tennis court and a swimming pool, which is really symbolic of being in the heart of the spring selling season.
Cox Plate, Okay.
So what have you got for us this week, Gary? It's the holiday festival.
It's happening again.
I'm having the weekend off, Gary.
You are, Philip, and it's going to be good to see you not here. See you not here, Phil. We had a big weekend. We just get the towers up as I wipe the tears out. 18 out of 20, Philip. That is 90% clearance rate. That is very exciting. Big weekend. Put the towers up. The industry average was, Phil?
74%, Gary.
I think it might have even been a bit less, but let's give the industry the credit of 74%. That's a great weekend for the industry, but 90%, Phil.
We did talk about in the sales meeting yesterday about how our systems do ensure such a high clearance rate. And viewers, without sounding boastful, the reality is we have been tracking all year in excess of 80%, give or take the odd weekend where we drop below, when the industry average is in the 70s. So very proud of our sales team, viewers.
Indeed.
Very proud.
Indeed.
Speaking of our sales team, Gary, today, big day.
Yes,
You're probably asking why. Sally Zellman. Shout out to Sally. Happy birthday, Sal.
Put a beautiful photo of her up there. There she is, her sartorial splendour and elegance. She's a magnificent lady, and age does not weary her, Phil.
No, Gary. And let's get back to the weekend that was with 18 out of 20 auctions. We had some incredible results, Gary.
We did, Phil.
Some incredible figures of properties sold well in excess of reserve. Why don't we go through a few of the selected
Well, we can.
results?
We can go a few more than usual before we review this home, Phil, as the birds sing. Right on cue, this beautiful garden that we're in. But Phil, we don't have any auctions that are coming up this weekend, so it'll take a little bit longer. But 78 Bamborough Road, now that was an exciting auction. It's been the same family for many years, and we had some good interest there in the sort of range. We thought we might get in that high ones, perhaps 2.
2 was always the barrier, Gary.
And the reserve was just around that figure, Philip. But lo and behold, we sold it for $2,280,000 under intense competition, Phil.
And shout out to the vendors who are downsizing into an apartment, which is not that far from my place.
Yes.
And look forward to catching up with them in Beatty Avenue in Armidale.
Congratulations to them, delightful people they are, Philip, as is the agents and family of the agent who we sold for in Beltane Avenue. I got the auction honours here in East Brighton, Philip, again. A very successful auction, sold for $2,085,000.
Can we shout out to the vendors there, Gary?
I think we should
shout out to Tony and Alana and their friends, their family. I mean, keeping in mind how amazing was that story that we sold them a house that they were the underbidders on 7 years ago. So they missed out on that house 7 years ago. They went then to Beltane Avenue, built a house, and then when that same house came up for sale, they went back and bought it and then sold Beltane. Lovely real estate story.
Very good
Fascinated
real estate story.
Me anyway.
And you are not easily fascinated, so that's a good story, Phil. Congratulations. Now, we're going to talk about the two places that didn't sell, Phil, because we've got a little bit of extra time, but Currawina Road, we can see good value in this property, Philip, for sale still.
Interestingly, we passed this in on
Saturday.
Opened it on Sunday, got 11 groups through and 2 offers. So I think that will probably, by the time that this goes to press or air, that will be sold.
Should be. If not, jump on board and ring us quickly. Philip, Hinton Road, that was a great sale of Leor's, went well above expectations, sold for $938,000 from our Carnegie office. So well done, Leo and Aviv. Holloway Street, Ormond, well, that one kicked, didn't it, Phil?
It did.
Yep.
A shocking Saturday.
How bad was the weather?
I think there was 11:30 or 12:30 on Saturday.
A washout.
Pouring with rain, and we all huddled inside into this one room. Got about 30 people in the room, tiny room, but it went well, 3 bidders.
And while you were there, I was in with Sergeant Schultz in Schultz Street, Philip. I know nothing, as they said on Hogan's Heroes. Actually showed my daughter that. It's funny how some comedy doesn't change the ages, because my daughter's 17 and you think she's into all the new comedy. But I showed her a image of Schultz saying
up on screen now.
Up on screen, I show. Yeah, there he is.
I'm not sure that has universal appeal, because, quite frankly, your daughter Nina is the quirky. She is the quirkiest person you'll meet.
She is quirky.
Yes, she's up to speed with social media, Gary. Actually, she is a contemporary woman or girl. But quirky. She got all of your quirkiest characteristics.
She did. But if you like a bit of Schultz, you can go online and see some of Sergeant Schultz. But anyway, Schultz did sell for $950,000. 2 bidders there going for it, and well done to Nikki Janover and Arlene, who handled that beautifully. Philip, we moved on to Nelson Road. Now that is a record price for South Melbourne, as I understand. We are setting records everywhere, and Philip, you're involved in that.
Is the price disclosed or undisclosed?
It is disclosed. It's $4,360,000.
So I think, Gary, that was the biggest sale price in the weekend through Middle Park, Albert Park, South Melbourne, Port Melbourne. So great that Gary Pure and Associates out of our St Kilda office was able to handle that transaction. So very proud of Lamore and Nikki for that transaction. Did a great job.
Congratulations. Philip, while you were there, I could not be with you because I was in church at the time, Philip, in Poth Road, Murrumbina. Now, you've got to have a look at this shot, because this is fantastic. It's almost like the service is about to start and Leo's on the pulpit preaching to his congregants. It was beautiful. But so was the auction, Phil. The reserve was 1.2, which is at the top of the range. Sold for $1,350,000. A very competitive auction. 4 or 5 bidders all going for it. And I don't think the church has ever seen that much heat in it before, but it was a great auction. And congratulations to the vendors, and thanks for the gig. And well done to the buyer. Philip, Grange Road, Huntley. That was a really hot auction. Darren was working on that one with Leo, sold for $1,235,000. Well in excess of the expectation there, which was somewhere around that nines.
I want to talk, Gary, about Parkside Street. Is the price disclosed in Parkside Street?
We haven't got to Parkside yet, Philip, so just hold your horse.
No, I'm on the roll now. Parkside Street.
It gets out of order.
Viewers, one of the things that we're seeing a theme in the market at the moment
is undisclosed.
Is that the older style 60s and 70s apartments, which are larger than a lot of the new stuff that's being built in, I think there's a renaissance going on underway, and we have been calling that for quite some time.
We have, Phil.
If you go back through GPTV,
go back for the last 240 episodes, you'll see it somewhere.
You'll notice that we've been singing the praises of the 1960s and 1970s apartment buildings, because they're solid and they're larger than the new stuff. And there we had 3 parties bidding for it, and we had about 130 people in the crowd. There's some footage up on screen now, but the price is undisclosed, is it?
Price undisclosed, Phil, but suffice to say it's hundreds of thousands of dollars above expectation and reserve. So congratulations to the vendor, no doubt clicking their heels with delight there, Phil.
No doubt.
Phil, Saturday afternoon was interesting. We had a auction in Charnwood Road to round out Saturday. Jeremy Rosens did this. Again, a property selling well in excess of reserve. Nikki Janover, the handling agent, but there is. I hope we can put some footage up now. There is some footage, because it was on Facebook.
Yes, Gary.
So of the Domain Facebook. Talk us through that, Phil.
Well, Domain are now on the weekends going out and about filming live Facebook auctions. So the theory behind that is you can click onto Facebook and watch an auction from anywhere in the world that is taking place. Now, there's no interactive bidding, but they're getting 15,000, 20,000 people watching it.
Extraordinary, isn't it?
Watching it at a time.
And there's all the comments that come through the screen, which is interesting.
Some, a bit contentious.
No, but most are pretty.
There's a lot of nice comments, Gary, but there are some trolls that are sitting around saying nasty things about everybody.
Most of the comments I'm seeing are people that are actually engaged and interested.
Do you know why you're seeing those comments?
Yeah, I do know.
Because they filter out the trolls.
I know that. Well, I was trying to modify the story not to have that in it, but now you've blown that, so thanks again for that. But anyway, well done to Jeremy. Great auction and good to be covered internationally around the world.
Absolutely.
Phil, now
what a world we live in, Gary.
It is a phenomenally
when
interesting
you got
world.
into the business, Gary, you used to send messages to people by courier pigeons.
I did, yeah, exactly right. And Smokescreen used to be up on the hill, wouldn't you? Waving those blankets around, Phil.
Property will be selling before auction.
Exactly right. Special code for that.
Yep.
Or Morse code. Phil, we started off on Sunday morning in Narrawong Road.
We joined forces. Every sale.
Well, we've got no properties to review. We've got more to talk about. Don't worry about the format because we saw how well you did with the format when I was away. And,
Do you know what?
He did a great presentation. Just forgot the house we were at.
Viewers,
great. Done that before.
I'm going to actually compliment Gary on the show. So this is an unusual. It's taken us 240
Can we
episodes
just freeze this and put it in every episode?
To get to this point. There is no question, Gary, that I'm going to thank you publicly for the level of work and preparation that you put into this show.
Yes.
Because I did none of that while you were away. And I must say, I don't think it flowed quite as well as when we're doing it together.
So don't interrupt me, okay? Thank you. I'll take the compliment on. Thank you very much for that.
Yep.
With your
as good as it gets.
With your Cox Plate comments earlier on. Still getting over that one. Phil, Narrawong Road. Well, I tell you what happened to Narrawong Road. I mean, it was sold well over reserve, and anyway, it's undisclosed, and a lot of people there. There's a bit of image. We can show a bit of footage of it there, just with the crowd. Okay, let's move on. So a guy's there looking at me kind of smiling. Lovely fellow.
Yeah.
And he says to me
afterwards...
afterwards...
You are a very attractive bloke, Gary.
No, you are. As you are.
No, you are. I don't know whether we've talked about your handsomeness on the show, but you are a good-looking guy.
Well, we can extend the episode a bit if you want to keep going. Anyway, this
even with the defects that you are currently considering work on at the moment that we did talk about last week that I won't raise on this show.
No, fair enough. Thanks for that. Anyway, no makeup though.
Although...
No makeup on
Stay tuned, viewers. Stay tuned.
Don't start. I'm not going to do it now.
There's going to be... I'm going to give a prize, a night at Crown, right? I'm seriously...
Well, now you're trying to spice it up.
I'm going to give a night at Crown. Viewers, stay tuned next year. I'm thinking probably February or March to see whether Gary looks different in February.
I'm not going to do it now.
February or March.
You've embarrassed me. Phil, just want to say there was a lovely fellow with a nice smile sat next to me, and when I spoke to him after the auction, I didn't know if he was interested in bidding and he said to me, "I've got to tell you, every Wednesday morning," he said to me, "I wake up and I tune into GPTV." He goes, "I'm an addict."
Fantastic.
So I was looking for our fan, and I found him.
Our one fan.
Our fan, I found him. Yeah. So thank you for saying that. It made my day on Sunday. With all
why
the
don't you send him some movie tickets, Gary?
No, I don't know who he is, but he knows who he is. So
if you're watching,
the gentleman from Narrawong Road.
Gold class movie tickets, 2 tickets.
Just send an email.
Just send us a quick email. We'll have
ideas
them delivered to you. And thank you to our one fan.
Yeah, thank you to him.
Whatever you do, don't go on holiday without your iPhone.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we need you to make our stat. Duke Street was sold very well.
We make this show for you.
Exactly
just
right.
for you.
That's all about.
Nameless person.
Duke Street, Phillip sold well for over 500,000, 503.5 in excess of reserve. I want to talk about Lucan. It hasn't sold yet.
Yes.
Phil, it's a spectacular home.
Yes.
Bamborough Road was sold. Parkside, we talked about. The other Bamborough Road, let's talk about that quickly. 325 at 325A Bamborough Road. Well, that was probably an amazing auction, wasn't it?
So
great story here.
The story.
Come on, it gets better. I'm amazed by life.
Do you know the technicalities of the story?
Because I know. I heard about it today. I couldn't believe it. Go talk about it.
Well, we sold. This has been held by the same family for, I think, 40 years.
Yeah,
so we're selling for some lovely, lovely people who we've sold for many times before, and they give us this property. They've held it for 40 years. First of all, it smashes the reserve. I think the price is undisclosed, but we smashed the reserve price.
Oh, boy, you're talking about 400,000 or 500,000.
But as we knocked it down and sold it to the people and wished them congratulations, they said, "We used to own this property. Our family grew up here, and we sold it to the people that you've just sold it for."
It's unbelievable.
Isn't that
That's
extraordinary?
Right. It's
40
incredible.
years later.
Yeah. So it's a 40-year changeover.
Viewers, I love this job.
It's nuts,
I really do love it. It's just every
full of
day
surprises,
there's a heartwarming story.
Never stops. Phil, Nathan Grove is where we are right now. We've got no auctions that are coming up this weekend. A little bit of a sabbatical, if you will.
Yes.
Tell us about this property, Philip. This goes up on the 13th of November.
The big question is, Gary, where do I start and where do I finish? Firstly, Nathan Grove is a beautiful street right in the heart of Caulfield South, full of premier homes because the parcels of land in this street are very large. As a consequence, Gary, a lot of very expensive homes have been built here. And this is the street with probably more tennis courts.
Yes.
Per capita, if there is
this area, there wouldn't be.
the same.
There wouldn't be any more anywhere.
And as we sit here, we're in this incredible house with the swimming pool that we're looking at that you can't see at the moment, with the tennis court behind us. But next door has a swimming pool and tennis court, and then the next door to that has got a swimming pool and tennis court. So this is like the tennis street. This is like the French Open. It's like the Australian Open here on the weekends.
Well, it's like being at Roland Garros, Phil, isn't it?
Do you know, Gary, this is like Club Med hits Caulfield South. You buy this house, viewers, you never have to go on holidays because it's got everything. It's got all of the bedroom accommodation, the beautiful bathroom accommodation. It's got formal areas, it's got informal areas. It's got this beautiful deck where we're sitting here having a few drinks that are under the chair that we're not showing you. And it's also got a home theatre that if you actually, I'll show you up on screen, the home theatre. There's me with my feet up as we speak.
Beautiful.
But it's a great house and really looking forward to the auction here, Gary.
Well, details on the screen. We look forward to seeing you come through this very special offering, rare offering, Philip, right in this little quiet part of Caulfield South where it is just absolutely beautiful to live.
I'm going away this weekend, Gary.
Oh, where are you off to?
Do you know what? I'm off to Byron Bay this weekend.
Very good. Enjoy.
One of my
catch up with Chris Hanley?
weekends off a year, and I'm going to catch up with Chris Hanley.
Yes.
I sent him an email today, Byron Bay First National. Bit of a shout out, Chris.
Yes.
But
he started, interesting guy, he started the Byron Bay Writer Festival, an estate agent with some brains.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
So there is one.
There's one. It's him.
Okay.
We've got one fan and one brainy estate agent.
So going up there, Gary, to have a look at real estate, because a lot of our clients own real estate in Byron Bay. So I'm going out to check it out. And of course, I'm going to have the hash cookies, and I'm going to
do that.
I'm going to hang out with the hippies.
Exactly.
And I'm going to have a massage. I'm also going to have mud baths.
You should,
where I'm going to get in touch with my inner child by having a naked mud bath and eating hash cookies.
Exactly. Mung beans. Yeah, I'm sure it's really your image. A lot of people.
This show is probably
a lot of people tuned off.
Depths.
A lot of people tuned out by now. If you're still watching though, a couple of quick things to talk about. One is next Monday, we've got a Halloween event, Phil. So if you've got any kids or grandkids or nieces or nephews, or you're just a kid at heart, come along to the Coatesville Tennis Club. Jodie is putting that on. Jodie English from our office. One of our new stars. And
specialising in that area.
5:30 or 7:30. There'll be jumping castles. There'll be sausages. There'll be fun. Anyway, for kids or the young at heart, 5:30 to 7:30 as the plane comes over.
Mr. Cameraman, is that affecting us? Okay.
Not too bad. So,
by the way, viewers, this house is not on a flight
path. It's not under surveillance either for some. Well, maybe they're coming over now because of what's going on in Byron Bay. They're worried about you being the goanna. So come to that. Two other quick things, Philip. Maybe we'll run the block next week. I think we've got a little thing because we're running out of time. We've got a little video of the block which we'll run next week about the opening. Great to see those that were watching here.
So many of our viewers came to that.
Yeah,
those of you that didn't come, we'll have other functions.
Well, we've got the grand opening on Sunday. The actual grand with 40,000 people. If you want to join that, you'd be part of the circus.
Crazy to go.
No, you can be welcome. Well, it's a big event if you like big events.
Do you know what? If you missed out on our cocktail party and you would still like to have a look at the block
just give
and
us
not
a call.
go this weekend, give us a call.
Give us a call. We'll work something out. Phil, the other thing to talk about is this Thursday night, a couple of days' time, we've got the big REIV Awards. Let's just roll up.
We should be doing GPTV from the rooftop.
Of where? Maybe we could.
Yeah.
Oh, we can do it from there. We can do it from the RIV Awards as well. Maybe we should do a little bit.
Got a lot happening, Gary.
We're going to bring a snippet from the RIV because Visual Domain, I think, cover that. Is that right? Did Visual Domain cover the RIV? I think so. So we're going to do some. Otherwise, we'll do it on our phone. But the RIV Awards. So we're looking forward to that. Good luck to Leon. Good luck to Eliza going for back to back. Good luck for Aviv Samuel. They're the personal awards we've got. And good luck to all the officers because we are in every single category. Small office, medium office, big office. We're there for the best in Victoria.
Corporate manager.
No, we're not body corporate manager, but we've got the corporate support.
We've talked about this.
Put the categories up quickly on the screen. There
now
they are.
Take them down.
Now take them down. Thank you, and we're looking forward to that. So hopefully we're going to clean it up, Phil, on Thursday.
There you go, Gary. Big episode of Nothing this week.
That's right. Yeah, nothing. But thanks for spitting on me. Thanks for making us laugh. The tyres are off. But we're having fun, and we're going to keep bringing you all the news of real estate on GPTV. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. Thanks for watching, and I do apologise if I did offend you this show.
Bye.